Warning, this podcast contains authors.
Eggs.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 4, Episode 17, Best Laid Plans. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Omikins, aka Nikki. My mythical co-host, Clio the Unicorn.
Touch my horn!
And our caramel-breathing dragon,
Oh my god.
Rachel.
I almost forgot you started and I had the unicorn in my lap and I was like, oh, wait.
I'm glad that you did it at the time in which you did, because I would have saw it if it was previously, and I just sat there dumbfounded for a second this way. You caught me off guard. So.
Touch my horn.
Oh my god. So what'd you guys think of this episode?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
We finally got answers.
answers.
So many answers.
A couple
Okay.
answers,
I'm
yeah.
Everybody's been bugging me, and they're like, Nikki doesn't like anything. I liked this episode.
Whoa!
No, I don't say that. I just have a problem that you don't like Emma, because Emma's my spirit animal.
I
Have a lot of spirit animals.
You know what? I gave Emma some thumbs up here because Snow and Charming are being complete dick faces.
What the hell's their problem?
Kind of.
They fucked up.
Kind of.
Kind of.
I wouldn't call them complete dick faces, but they done fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They're like
Maybe.
digging that hole.
I don't think they
Digging
did.
that baby bullshit.
No, I don't think they did, but we'll get into that. So
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
so Snow and Charming. Right, we see them in the past, and they're taking a thing. They come across the peddler.
Fucking
And-
knew there was something up with that guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was the sorcerer. Because I
Yeah.
was like, you're a really random dude to just be broke down on the side
Yeah.
of the road. I thought he was the sorcerer.
I don't know who he was. He
That was
just.
close.
I knew he was someone, but I was like, okay, so this is someone we've never seen before.
I mean,
Right, so
we've talked about it, and we've talked about the peddler coming in from, like, Agrabah, and I saw this scrawny, weird-looking dude, and I'm like, he's gotta be. You know, I mean, yeah, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
it
gave
still
me
it still could be that guy.
so
He gave me
could
a
be.
weird feeling. It was just like, there's something
Yeah.
off about this guy.
Okay, look back
Because
at
not
Aladdin.
only...
If you look back at Aladdin and you look at that peddler, isn't he creepy? Isn't he a little weird?
yeah.
Doesn't he give you the EBGBs just a little bit?
No.
No,
Yeah.
Well, the
he's creepy.
peddler from Aladdin
It's the
is supposed to be
genie.
the genie.
Yes.
no, one from Aladdin never creeped me. This guy was like, I don't know, almost like, when in Snow White, the Wicked Witch turns into the old lady. That's what kind of reminded me of.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, what tipped me off at first was the actor, because I know I've seen the actor in a lot of other things.
He's in Mad Men.
Yeah, he's a really
Character.
good character actor.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And
He actually, it bothered me that he was in this episode.
yeah.
Well, you know what?
or
You
I
said that
should say-
about.
I should say this season, because it broke one of Once Upon a Time's rules, and that is introduce one actor from Lost every season, and he played Phil on Lost.
Yeah.
Oh.
From the Dharma Initiative, and we already had Rebecca Mader play the Wicked Witch earlier this season, so
That
they
wasn't this
broke
season.
their thing
The
this
Wicked
time around.
Witch? Oh no, you mean the Snow Queen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
You confused me. I was like, Wicked Witch was not the season.
I was like,
Yeah,
that
Snow Queen.
Also,
Snow Queen.
Yeah.
The other thing that struck me was he didn't ask them their names. You know,
Mm-mm.
he didn't offer up his name. I'm like, there was a specific leaving out of names in this conversation.
I know he knew because I mean, how do you not know if he came from where the castle is? He would know who Snow White is. He would know who Prince Charming is.
Lee
He did
Silver
it.
is in chat.
He
He
would
said,
know.
what was up with the peddler saying colder than a witch's and then stomping? That's a famous kind of like phrase, colder than a witch's tit on a
Tit. Yeah,
frosty
they're not
gonna
morning
say
or something
tit
like that.
They're not gonna do that.
And-
That's
Yeah, he wasn't gonna say tit in front of Snow.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to say that on ABC television anyway.
No.
Mhm.
So,
Not that she would have cared, though. To be
right,
honest,
right,
no.
but he
She
didn't know
wouldn't
that.
have
So,
cared.
out of respect, he was stopping. So, colder than a witch's foot or whatever he said.
Yeah.
He said
So,
foot. He said foot.
but so
Yeah.
we'll talk about him more in a little bit. But we do find out that he's the author. And then this
Spoilers,
leads
Dom. Ah.
spoilers, right? Oops. I mean,
Whoops.
we didn't say that at the beginning
Oh,
of the
totally.
show.
That's totally not a warning.
So, this leads Snow and Charming to find the apprentice, because Maleficent raised hell like on the main path or whatever, and they can't go that way. So it leads to the
Allegedly.
apprentice. The apprentice starts going off on this spiel about what the unicorn that we saw in their vision quest thing at the beginning was, right? So they touched the unicorn's horn. They saw two different outcomes of how the child could be. Keep your hand off that. That's disturbing.
I think the reason why they saw two different ones was it depending on what they were going into touching the horn. You know what I mean? Charming wanted
Their attitudes.
Yeah, their attitudes towards what was going on. I mean, Snow on one hand was really worried that she would be evil.
Yeah.
And Charming on the other hand was just like, nope, she's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Charming. I feel like the roles that they had then also switched to the present day, because back then she was being negative and he was being positive, and in the present it was the other way around.
Mhm.
Mary Margaret was like, we gotta, come clean. She was being the positive, and he was like, no, we gotta keep lying.
Right. So
Gotta keep lying.
Gotta keep lying.
we find out from him there's a way to save the child or whatever, and they're like, oh, we can't because it needs an empty vessel, whatever. They're like, no, we can't, that's wrong, blah blah blah. And then they're like, oh wait, Peddler mentioned Maleficent's baby,
Yeah.
empty vessel, dragon, she's gonna be evil
Hey,
anyway, let's
They didn't think of baby because it was Maleficent and it wasn't
They
an egg.
expected it
yeah,
to be
so
a
they
dragon.
go
Dragon.
take the egg. They go take the egg and they get it, and then they don't realize, number one, it's a baby. They don't realize, number two, that it's not going to be returned to Maleficent. So they broke their promise, there, all this stuff. And they start like, oh my god, right?
Yeah. Well,
Then
I mean, to
we
be
see
fair,
Cruella and Ursula run over, right?
Yeah.
So this explains like this really big plot point that we were trying to figure out, is how Cruella and Ursula got there in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it does not explain is how they haven't aged in the last 30 years.
Magic.
So,
But there's
And
no
also-
magic.
I don't know. I was just throwing it
There's
out.
no magic in our world. That's the whole point.
yeah.
She married a plastic surgeon.
Well,
That
that's
is true.
Cruella.
She did actually do that.
Right.
That's Cruella, though. I mean, Ursula, on the other hand,
She's a fish.
Ursula's also not a
She's-
human.
she's not human.
Ursula's not human.
So that explains Ursula, but
Yeah.
Cruella, why
surgery.
that? No, my question
That
for
explains her
Cruella
eyebrows.
is
With eyebrows.
my question about Cruella is how the hell does she fit into the Enchanted Forest? Anyways, yeah, I know she had that little dog swooning thing, but are we gonna get to see that again?
I think so. I think one of the episodes we're going back. We're gonna.
I loved
probably-
her comment. If I knew it would be this bloody cold, I would have taken a few more puppies.
And made boots or mittens or
That's
something.
terrible.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Awful.
It was great, but there was something here, a key little thing that the sorcerer's apprentice, what he said. He turned later on, we saw it, he turned to the author, and he said, "Why did you make me do that?" As
Yep.
in the author had control over him. So that's
Well, he was
bringing me to this point of, did the author make Snow and Charming take the egg?
Probably.
You could have driven
So-
them to paranoia.
So this wasn't necessarily their fault.
No, it wasn't. I
Well,
mean,
I think he laid plans like breadcrumbs along the way for them to go down that path.
he can manipulate the path. He
Yeah, he
can't make them
manipulated.
do something. So he basically put these really, really shiny doors in front of them that is the wrong path but looked good,
I guess,
and they
but then-
followed it.
But then, if the sorcerer's apprentice knew better, why didn't he
Not do it.
act
I
on
think
it?
I think
Why
because
did he go
maybe the
along with
author and the apprentice are kind of like on that same wavelength, they're like the same creature kind of thing, and they can manipulate each other like that. I don't know.
It seemed like he manipulated the apprentice.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I
did.
see. So he tricked him or something.
He made the.
It was a trick, or it was like, the sorcerer and the apprentice, they choose the author. And the apprentice is around to say, take that power away, say if he does something wrong. So they trust their author completely until
Well, the author was
wrong.
just supposed to be there to take down accounts, document, and then
document.
this one started making his own.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
And
I
was just like, well, that's probably why the apprentice didn't tell them that the baby wasn't coming back.
Right, because it's all manipulation from the author. But we have Lee Silver in chat saying, when did Snow and Charming actually become idiots? I thought it was just Regina's name for them, snowing. Could they realize that a dragon born to a Maleficent could at least turn into a human just like its mom? This is where the author comes in. I think the author's influence is not making them. They're slowly, like, after the fact and things, they're realizing, oh, why didn't we think of this? And it's kind of, that's bleeding through as something's not right.
They said anything that her spawned would probably be evil, so...
Right. But that could be the author talking, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because... And I mean, I guess this was in the period where they were very like, oh, Evil Queen's bad, she's just evil because she's evil. So it could be they came from their own heads, but it could also be that it was planted.
But I think also, if you notice, when Snow said she'll bring it back, I think when Maleficent came to her that one night and was like, mom to mom, and she tapped into that mother instinct with Snow, and Snow's just like, we'll bring her back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Snow's intention.
And then not bringing it back, I think, not only crushed Maleficent, I think it crushed Snow in a certain way.
Well,
and we saw the aftermath of it crushed her.
It crushed her. I mean, it got to the point where the mobile, we got a little background on that famous mobile that not only is sitting in Rumpelstiltskin's shop right now, but
didn't she say Cinderella got it?
Yeah, she said Cinderella gave it to her. And then the thing that I noticed was kind of interesting is Snow said to Charming, and I quote, "We're brave, but we weren't kind." Like, that was said around the time. The tagline for the new Cinderella movie is "Have courage and be kind."
Be kind, yes.
So it's like, to me, this is a little bit of foreshadowing.
They're tossing hints.
Yeah, they're gonna.
As far as Snow did mention that her heart was dark, and she thought it was just because of what she did to Cora.
Yeah.
But she's like, I realize now that it's rooted back to now, like back to when we did Maleficent wrong. That's when it started to darken.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I mean, you can't have good without evil, and you can't have evil without good.
No.
And everyone
they're people,
potential
whether or not
for
they're
both.
Yeah, and whether or not they're from the Enchanted Forest and Land of Magic and stuff like that, they're still humans.
Yeah.
They're still human beings with faults and, thoughts of their own and feelings. And, I mean, every once in a while you're going to be just out for yourself.
Yeah, and even if you are good, bad things, you're not perfect.
You're not a saint.
Yep. We did learn there have been many authors.
It's a job.
One far-fetched theory that I threw out last week on the podcast, and said that the author was Walt Disney. They mentioned, and they said one of the authors was
one
Walt.
of them.
Yeah, one of them was a man named Walt. They didn't say Walt Disney.
No, they
said a man named Walt.
Yeah,
but
it's very,
very
much
storytellers.
Yeah.
They're
Obviously,
storytellers.
it's Walt Disney, but
right.
all he said was a man named Walt.
Right.
We all know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so, I mean, that little
You don't have
nod
to say
was amazing. It was amazing. So, I don't know, it starts bringing into question, like, oh, were these stories started by Walt, and then this new author now is, like, coming in and
Fucking it up!
fucking everything up kind of thing, yeah. And then that started, like, this whole, like, brain train thing in my head where it's like...
Choo-choo.
The Frozen stuff, like, they've been very self-aware of other things, like Mulan. Oh, we've seen the Mulan movie, but when Frozen came in, these characters knew nothing about the Frozen movie. And I don't know if it's because the timeline is not quite there, because I'm trying to think of when this series started. What year was it?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The series started in like, because they said Mulan. Oh, have you guys seen that movie? Oh, it was fantastic. You know, whatever. Like, I specifically remember that part.
None of them have little girls, so it might it being a new movie might not have been anything they ever got around to. You know.
Well, I also think that part of the timeline, it's not caught up right now. Like, because the timeline, I'm just gonna throw a year out there, for example.
And there's no movie theater in.
I'm gonna say like 2005. I don't know what the actual timeline, but let's say 2005, right? The timeline went to, let's say the Emma broke at 2005. The way the story's been going, I think only 2 years have passed. So it's not present day.
No.
It had to have been more.
And there's no, we haven't seen a movie theater in Storybrooke, so.
Well, it's not that we haven't seen a movie theater. It's just that the connection between Storybrooke and the outside world is so thin.
Well, like, David was the one that mentioned Mulan, so David clearly has seen the movie before.
It's true, but how much connection do they have?
Yeah.
They have current-ish books. They have current-ish movies. You know, I don't think it's like totally cut off or whatever.
It's not totally cut off, but how often do you think people kind of traverse back and forth? They don't, not often.
So something newer probably wouldn't.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think some of the newer stuff,
because they've been kind of busy the last couple of years.
I honestly think since the curse has been broken, it's only been like 2 or 3 years at most, because all the chain of events have been following each other right after. It's like, Neverland's done. Well, here's what came after Neverland. Was it? It was Zelena, right? It was like immediately, you know, and it's just like all this stuff has been back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And then there was the missing year. That's the only time jump we've ever had. So that's why I said that 1 year.
Well, and there was the time between when Rumpel left got thrown out of Storybook and the time.
Yeah, that's
6
been
months?
a couple months, 3 months or so. So, I mean, from the start of the show, 3, maybe 4 years. So, Emma came to Storybrooke in 2011. Blue Fairy this year goes missing November of 2013. So, yeah, there's still about 2 years behind us, a year and a half behind us. So, I mean, it's November 2013. I'm pretty sure Frozen was out by then, right?
Came out, around Christmas, actually.
Or did it just come out?
2013 it came out.
Yeah. So, yeah.
They've been a little busy.
I mean, yeah, with them being busy and stuff, if it had just come out, too, that's totally understandable. So that's why they're not self-aware of those kind of stories and stuff like that.
And Storybrooke is now separated from the rest of the world right now.
It has a barrier, but I mean, it's nothing.
It's not like they're getting CD and movie shipments into Storybrooke, so.
They're not.
Yeah. But this brings up, like, can the author, can he actually control Rumpelstiltskin now, too?
I don't know.
I mean...
That's a very worthy adversary for Rumpel.
But does he have the pen? Because when he got locked in, the pen was left out.
That is true. We don't know how much of the power comes from the pen, though.
It could be absolutely zip. It just doesn't matter.
It could just be any pen.
Yeah.
Well,
the power could be with the author himself.
The apprentice said, "Give me your quill." Before
he said, "Hand in your quill," almost like it's a badge.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like you're suspended. I'm taking your badge.
It was a little more than being suspended.
But I mean, but that's kind of
trapped you for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much of the power is in the quill? How much of the power is in him?
Yeah.
We won't. I think we'll find out soon.
Why did he run off like that?
Because he did something bad.
Yeah, he
doesn't want to be used. He wants to use everyone else.
But he could have just sat there and bullshitted his way through it.
Could he have?
I don't think so.
Maybe he's not in a position to use his power.
Well, no, I'm not saying to use his power. He fucking lied through his teeth.
You could have put a
He's written all these
on,
stories. You mean to tell me he's not creative enough to come up with a lie?
He's rusty. He's been stuck in a door for...
He probably has no idea who's still around who can put him in cuffs, so to speak. Like, he doesn't know that the apprentice is in the hat.
And he knows Charming and Snow right there.
They know that it's him, but that was their question. Like, you're the author? Really? You? Like, he could have just been like, yeah, I cloak myself and look like a peddler so that I don't get people breathing down my neck to change their fucking stories all the goddamn time.
I don't know, for some reason he's running from them.
He ran and he hid.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's dealing with.
Lee says he has a theory that the author isn't really evil and he's going to apologize to Regina, saying it's Cora who was supposed to be the stepmom to Snow.
I don't think that story is relevant.
Nope. I don't think that's. I don't think he doesn't seem very apologetic person.
That's also not the part of her story that she wants to change.
No.
No, but it's kind of the part of the story of where she went evil.
Yeah, but...
Yes.
So if we're talking in terms of the author and where he changed the story, that may be one of those moments.
But to go back in time and change the story when she's already on the right path?
No.
But we don't know.
He's not going to go back in time to change things. That's not what I'm saying. But he may just mention this is when your path veered off.
Well, we don't know how long he's been the author. He could have came after that story already happened.
Yeah.
We don't know when he took over from the other author. We don't know.
Says that was his theory going into the episode last night. So.
Yeah, but we don't know when he took over as the author.
Yeah.
Or when he started writing. We don't know that.
It's very true. We get to see Emma get a little angry.
Oh my god.
She said the same exact thing.
Was she unreasonably angry?
No.
She said the same exact thing in her mom's vision that she said in prison.
What's going on right now is something that they shouldn't have kept a secret from Emma, especially Emma.
Mm-hmm.
And now things are all out of hand and out of whack because she didn't know from the very beginning. Like, she could have went a completely different way. Regina could have went a completely different way. They could have actually handled the situation right before it even walked through their front door, which is like the barrier.
They would have had more ammunition. They would have known why Maleficent is so pissed off. They would have known, all these variables that would have helped them figure out what's going on. But they decided not to.
Actually, I just realized that both visions, when they touched the unicorn horn, came true. Both of them were true. She was pure of heart as a, baby, but also she was like, no, fuck you, Mom.
You gave me up kind of thing. She was pissed off her mom for so long.
I don't think, yes, she was, distraught about her mom when she was younger, like a teenager, but that's like teenage angst and stuff. She also had the Snow Queen, who was working on her. We have Lily now, which we didn't know was a thing. She was also kind of rambunctious and she was sneaky and she kind of was a bad influence.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things going at Emma at that age that would make her feel and say what she did to Snow in that vision.
Without all the stuff that went on, though, would she still be with Hook?
I don't even think she would have known about Hook. I don't think their paths would have crossed.
Probably not. But, the whole, I saw it coming.
Lee mentions in chat.
But it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing, but it's not a thing.
It's just Hook getting jealous. It's not a thing.
Yeah, Lee mentions in chat that he loves that Killian is jealous of August.
Why do you love that?
Well, like I said before, it's going to be a thing, but it's not going to be a thing. It's going to, they're going to try to work it in there.
I love seeing Hook, so I'm with Lee there because he says even though he does not want a wood swan romance, I don't think any of us really do. But just seeing Hook get jealous in the first place is so entertaining.
Did you say a wood swan?
Yeah, wood swan.
Wood swan.
Because anyways, it's slightly adorable to see Killian kind of getting puffy and. Emma's like, don't worry about it. And then, August is like, I know Lion. Come on.
He's not Simba. He's not the Lion King.
No, but he knows Lion.
You know what I'm enjoying through all these? It's Regina and Corella's sass to each other. their little remarks to each other. It's cracking me up. I'm loving it.
What do you guys think about the sleeping curse that was put on the town?
Why did, Regina need, well, the evil queen at that point need, like, a heart and all this other shit when, Maleficent's just like, bam.
No. Those are different curses.
Yeah.
Different curses.
This was more like it was sleeping spell.
The one Regina cast was a curse to transport everybody to a completely different land. This is just a sleeping curse.
Okay, yeah. That would explain.
I think it's more of a curse and more of a.
It's also
spell.
It's a curse.
The spell came from the orb. It wasn't. I mean, obviously it was Maleficent wielding the orb, but that spell came from the orb and her staff.
Yeah. I mean, the people who had curses on them, sleeping curses previously, were completely they were immune. So that makes it seem like it is a curse. Just not a temporary one? Or just not
affected
they said prior before in the curse that anybody who was affected by one could not fall victim to one again. So in terms of continuity, they're staying very true to that. This now leaves pretty much open that no one in Storybrooke could ever be put under a sleeping curse ever again.
That's true.
And now this also means that any flashbacks that we see, they better not retcon it by having somebody fall victim to a sleeping curse that's currently in Storybrooke. Like Granny or something.
My mom immediately said, "Oh, Sleeping Beauty's fine." I'm like, yeah, if they cared enough to put her in the episode. I'm still really salty that we don't know where Philip is, or Mulan. I'm just really salty.
Well, Philip's somewhere in the town. We just haven't seen him.
If I remember, wasn't there like something between didn't they mention like Cinderella and Aurora
yes,
together
baby thing.
Not yeah.
They're in the Mommy and Me class.
No, before that. Wasn't there like a flashback of the two of them interacting somewhere?
That was the missing year.
Okay, so during the missing year, this sets up now my theory, which we've talked about many times already, which is the Cinderella for next season, is have some kind of Cinderella tie-in, of some sort there, and a great way, keep this in mind, is Cinderella's stepsisters, which I'm going to go with Rachel's theory of Cinderella's mom being Anastasia. If that's the case, Anastasia ties into Will Scarlet, which is the whole reason for bringing him in, and it's just like this all kind of will eventually come together
in family get-together.
This nice little package, if that's the case. I don't think any of these ends are going to be tied up this season for that. I think this is just seeds to let you know it's there for next season, because they do hide little things like that. Every once in a while, they'll completely throw a ballpark thing at us, like the Frozen thing. Like, there's no hints to that anywhere. It's just, boom, here it is. But, like, Neverland, there was hints to that the whole way there.
Yeah, but I just, they didn't even mention Philip. They didn't mention Mulan. Like, it's just,
that's stuff that I'm saying might be covered next season.
Yeah.
They might not be in Storybrooke. So, if they're not in Storybrooke, because of whatever happened during that missing year.
I still hate when they do stuff like that. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, but if they're not in Storybrooke, there's no reason to mention them.
They are in Storybrooke. We saw them.
Philip isn't. We haven't seen Philip.
We don't know.
We haven't seen Philip.
Yeah, no, I know.
It was a Mommy and Me class.
That was my point.
Right.
They showed Aurora and the baby and didn't make a mention of Philip. That was my point.
Right.
I mean, we can assume that he is there, but we don't know for sure.
Anastasia stepsister. Yeah, that's. Did I say it was her mother?
You said mother.
Whatever. I meant stepsister.
You were on a roll. I didn't want to stop you.
Yeah. You guys knew what I meant.
We know what you were talking about.
We know what you're talking about.
But then the big thing that we speculated, Lee mentioned previously in another episode, it's been all over the internet, it's been everywhere, is Lily being Maleficent's kid. Right?
Hey-ho!
They revealed, but I feel like, so if you weren't one of those internet people that went nuts, if you're not like somebody who watches a podcast like this, if you're not somebody who goes ahead and reads all the episode titles, if you're not someone that spends time on the wiki or the subreddits or anything like that, then this could have come out of left field.
Yeah, I would have had no idea.
Except for the fact that Emma had to go mention Lily again, way before the reveal. She had to talk about, her one friend that she had and the one person she could trust, Lily. It kind of, to me, it weakened the blow. It was like, if they didn't say that, and just did this whole reveal without Emma ever mentioning this at the beginning of the episode, it would have been more impactful.
Well, I mean, I think it's something that's on Emma's mind.
Yeah, but that's something she could have said
Sound
after the reveal or in the next episode. I just feel like saying it before the reveal weakened that blow.
She was talking about how hard it was for her to make friends, and that this person made a friend because of this reason, and she could only connect with this person for that reason. I mean, it was relevant to that conversation at the time. She mentioned Lily because she happened to make friends with her. That's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that wasn't like a pertinent part of her story, because it was. It's something that she needed to say, connected with everything. I'm just saying to have her say it before the reveal of Lily.
Yeah.
It seemed very untactful. Like, I would have appreciated it more if they revealed Lily and then was like, Emma goes into this conversation that she's having, and then you're like, oh yeah, they're connected. Instead of, oh yeah, guys, remember Lily? We're gonna shove her in your face. Hi, look, Lily, ha. And then, it's like, oh, see, by the way, that's Maleficent's baby's name.
You are super unique when it comes to watching TV shows. I can say that I did not think that. But obviously you do.
Oh, that's
the mention of Lily, it was like,
that's really, Emma? Cool. Really? You had to do that?
Exactly.
And at that point, there was no doubt in my mind that was Maleficent's baby name. That was my 100% confirmation right there.
And then when Maleficent said someone has to know her, she's going to protect Emma as soon as she finds out that Emma knew Lily.
But wasn't that the beginning of this episode when she was talking with Rumpel saying,
It was at the end, I think.
Well, I mean, we were talking about like last few episodes where, they've really been alluding that Lily was the baby that went missing.
Yeah. I mean, Maleficent was telling Rumpel that he owed her this while after she put the sleeping curse on. So like they were walking through the silent town and she was saying this, and then at the end she's like, I deserve to know. Tell me now.
Yeah, and then we got to see the father or whatever, which was the same father that dragged her out of the house, in the flashback that Emma had.
What's so weird is they only showed the father, they didn't show the mother, but they alluded to a mother, but they didn't show a mom. And they never gave a name.
They didn't show her mom before either.
It's really weird.
It's not. I mean, if the mom is kind of...
Wouldn't you be there with your husband and when you were adopting a baby?
Did they mention that she had a mother?
Yeah, but they didn't show her. That's what's funny.
I don't remember them mentioning her. I thought he was adopting as a single parent.
No, he said we are going to name her Lily.
Maybe she's bedridden.
Maybe she has two daddies.
Yeah.
Maybe she does have two daddies.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to pick up your adopted... What if she's like a 24/7 worker all the damn time, She could be super tired.
She might not just be pertinent to the story because we said when Lily was first introduced, we said she's somebody. Yeah. She's not just a throwaway character.
Oh no, that wasn't a fill-in.
That very well may be the case, is the mother is not pertinent to the story, so they may never show her.
Or maybe she is pertinent, they're just not showing her right now.
That too.
I mean, my main question is, who is Lily's real daddy?
I don't know.
Does Maleficent need...
Who got that dragon pregnant?
Does Maleficent need to get pregnant? Or because that's a dragon egg. It's not like she gave birth to it.
It has to be fertilized.
It has to be fertilized.
Are not asexual.
Yes.
We don't know.
It's just like chickens.
You don't know how dragons work.
If they don't get fertilized, they don't turn into
You don't know how
chicks.
dragons work. They're mythical creatures. They could work like turtles, where they could just lay their own eggs.
There are established mythos of of fantasy characters, so most dragons
still get
produce in pairs.
She's a dragon expert.
Turtles still get
They
fertilized.
have not set rules for dragons on this show yet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Turtles' eggs still get fertilized.
Yes, I'm not talking about Tolkien dragons.
Sorry, they're all male. I'm sorry. I spoke out of turn.
Oh yeah, okay, so Tolkien...
The turtle analogy is wrong because they do get fertilized in the ocean and then they go up to the sand and lay the eggs. All eggs get fertilized somehow.
Right,
yeah,
but...
That's also a very hands-off bio-dad, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just on your eggs, I'm done. Bye.
And just... exactly. Just like salmon and all that.
There are, I'm not off the top of my head because this subject just kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't prepared for this, but there are asexual animals out there that reproduce off themselves.
You know what? You know what?
I don't think she is one, though.
Please do not bring Jurassic Park into this conversation.
No,
those are amphibians.
No, that wasn't Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, they clearly stated in that movie that the dinosaurs were changing genders out in the wild.
Yeah.
So
Dragonology.
A frog DNA.
She's gonna look it up. So while she's looking it up, that brought up, like, because we saw Lily and she didn't seem all that evil, right, when we first met her.
Well, she's in the norm realm.
She doesn't have any access to her magic.
But
or catalysts.
But the question is that they transfer all of Emma's darkness into her, right? So she's got Emma's dark. Does that mean Emma's got all her light?
No.
Her evil potential.
So Lily has the regular potential for good and a double potential for bad, but she can still end up in the end being good. The odds are stacked against her.
Yeah.
Lee's calling us out. He said in episode 5, Lily's dad says your mother is worried sick. So
yeah. She has a mom. We just don't know who she is.
Non-magical people can be evil. It happens.
Yeah.
Lily wasn't necessarily evil. She was a troublemaker.
Yes.
And she specifically said, she goes, I don't belong here. So she must have some kind of predisposition of knowing that she doesn't belong there.
What? You okay? What's going on? What happened?
Did you find anything in your Dragonology book?
Yeah.
No? So
We're not talking about...
we haven't seen Lily in a couple years now. We don't know what she looks like all grown up. We don't know what she's become. Like, you know, if she's evil now or, you know, if it's going to be one of those meet Emma, turn evil kind of thing. Or if her and Emma are going to pair up and be evil sisters together. Evil best friends. Evil besties.
I would fucking love that.
Why do they have to be evil? Why can't they be good?
No,
evil besties.
See, we've already seen...
Why can't they be true neutral?
There's been previews, there's been teaser trailers that you see Emma crazy evil.
Yeah.
Listen,
So we know that's going to happen.
neutral is a very underappreciated alignment.
It is.
Just be neutral, guys.
You know, Clio, everything in the world is not Dungeons and Dragons.
That's what you...
No. Clearly it is.
I know better.
Is it like one big Dungeons and Dragons game?
Yes, it is. There is so much RNG in our lives right now, we might as well be rolling dice every fucking time we say a word. We might as well.
I don't know where my iron
That is pushing it.
No,
that
it's
is pushing
not.
it, because
It's really not.
I want you, we'll do this after the show, I want you to get a D20, and I want you to assign a word to each one and roll it and come out with a sentence that actually makes sense.
No,
So that's a little bit of an extreme assessment there.
I mean, okay, when you roll a d20, it's kind of like a meaning, a situational, like, action thing, where if I say a word, I might as well roll and see what it actually has, if what effect it has on everybody. So, like, if I say I roll the d20, and it's a tone. It's more of a vibe, not the actual word. I could say a phrase, roll a d20, and people hear it differently than I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm clearly hearing things differently than you mean it right now.
Obviously, because you don't play D&D.
She crit failed her diplomacy check.
Did I? You rolled for me?
No.
You rolled no.
Anyway, so next week, the episode is called Heart of Gold. Not next week, I should say. Next episode is called Heart of Gold. Next week is Easter Sunday. They are on break. There is no show. So it is not next week. It is the week after. So it does not return until the 12th. Right?
Yes.
Sure.
April 12th. There's no synopsis for the episode, but we got to see the video afterwards. We see Rumple face-to-face with Robin Hood. Rumple in his old gold crimpy hairstyle, makeup and all that. And I just want to cut us off real quick. Jay in chat says that he loves that our chemistry, and it's amazing, and he loves your Dragonology book, so he supports you. So anyway, so we see Rumple in like the gold makeup, the crimped hair, so it's definitely something from the past going on.
Yeah, flashback.
Okay, you got the egg. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to show that it has pop-ups. It's a pop-up book.
Yeah, we'll get to this. So, we see that, and we see Rumple say Robin says we're gonna take a trip to a land called Oz. You know, so they have this conversation back and forth. Then we see Rumple present day riding on a white horse down the streets of New York City, and yes, it is New York City. We checked the license plates. So. He's running down New York City, which I kind of almost convinced it was going to be Boston and having Robin Hood pull a Paul Revere or something, but it wasn't. It was New York. So then we see Zelina. Obviously, you can't go to Oz without Zelina, and they're saying that she's more powerful than ever. It's clearly a flashback. It's not present day Zelina, who's still in Storybrooke, because she's not. She's dead. But it's a flashback, and she's all green again. She does this, like, split thing where there's 3 of her, and Robin's like, which one do I shoot at? And if he's got his magic bow, and he shoots, isn't it just going to hit the real one? Or it's only the target he's aiming for?
We don't
if
know
he's aiming for Zelina, wouldn't it just hit the real Zelina? Or is it the target that
I guess it depends on when he got the bow.
He just has to barrage, and everything's good after that.
Barrage, there you go.
Multi-shot. Many-shot.
Yeah,
I think he needs to roll a d20.
He does. No, I'm actually
really
naming
does.
D&D.
Volley got taken away from him. I'm sorry.
Exactly what I was going for.
We also see Rumple present day in the hospital in Storybrooke.
Mm-hmm. We seen him kind of holding his heart this episode. So I mean, I think it has to do with like his physical being, because he actually had to. Yeah, I mean, he seems worn out.
Because for some reason he's still dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in a like one frame thing we see Marion. So.
I need to point this out.
I know, Nikki.
Dom's,
look, she's already distracted. She's like,
Dom's notes.
Let me get this pen. She's like writing.
Dom's
she doesn't even want to talk about Marion.
Marion is in caps locks with like
I saw
20
that.
exclamation marks.
I did. It's clearly in caps lock. We also have J Corp in chat. This is actually a pretty good theory. He says, I think the author is Will's dad. Look at the way they both run from danger, and they look strikingly similar. Convenient casting. So if this is Will Scarlet's dad, like, that would be a good reason to bring the Knave into this.
Yeah.
You know?
Very interesting.
Why would your dad write such a shitty story for you?
Exactly.
Maybe he didn't have control over. I mean, is the Knave in that book? Because if he's not in it, then he had no control over it.
Yeah, he was in it. He was in it.
He was.
He was in it. When he was with the Merry Men and went to
Maleficent's
castle and stuff. He was in it.
Yep.
He was in it.
Yeah.
He was there. He saw things.
But yeah, Regina's like, she's locked up. She's in. We forgot to talk about that. She's in her crypt. They took her away because she lied and about the page that she took and stuff like that. So Rumple's in a hospital bed, and the author may be in control of both of their fates right now. So for all we know. Ooh. So yeah, I'll get to that. In a second, but I think that about wraps this up. Or would you have Rachel?
I was gonna say, did the Apprentice come back when they released people from the hat? I can't remember.
No,
they
only released the fairies. They didn't release everything that was in the hat.
The fairies.
They didn't just release the fairies. They released the big old demon.
Well, he could have been a fairy too.
Yeah, the demon snuck out.
Why didn't the Apprentice come out? That's what I was wondering. Yeah. I wonder if we're ever going to see him again, because
we will.
Obviously, the Apprentice can kind of control the writer in a certain way.
Yeah. So I think that about does it for this episode. Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Clio, where can the people eventually find the answer to the dragon?
I'm going to give it right now, because there are male and female dragons, and the females do lay eggs, but there is nothing specific about how they mate.
Okay.
So, there. You can find me at Cliomoto, and on Twitch at the Cliomoto. If you're watching live, I will be streaming right after this.
They just make sexy eyes at each other. That's all it takes.
Probably.
Rachel, where can people find you?
At Savannah17. Right down there.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Touching all the unicorn horns.
Closing note: Jay says the Red Queen is stuck in a book in the Bell's library, which is why he's been hanging out around his dad. The author may be able to help him get her out. Could be a possibility. We know he had a page from Alice in Wonderland with the Red Queen on it. That's not necessarily her in the book, but I'm not excluding that theory. You can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. 2 weeks. See you guys later. And Lee Silver would like everyone to know that it could be worse. Marion could actually be Barbara Keene from Gotham. Oh, snap!
You know what? I don't even see a difference. I'm sorry.
Whoa! Whoa, them are fighting words.
It's actually a
bunny day.
I know, Marion actually as a kid
Marion or Barbara?
She actually cares about kids, Marion, so she has one up on Barbara.
Who would win a fight, Marion or Barbara?
Marion has motherly instincts. She could completely kick Barbara's ass.
Barbara could be on PC.
I thought Barbara didn't have an ass.
This is true.
Start swinging
very
her
true.
art gallery paintings everywhere and
The ones she works
blow
on.
pot smoke in her face.
Oh God.
I don't know. I think she's moving up into hardcore drugs. I think she's on PCP.
Okay.